thinking, well, we can walk back here.
Y'all should go look back there.
Yeah, I want y'all to come see. My neighbor, he you know, act kind of strange. He do some weed and all that. A couple days go by and her car was still here. And for the last couple days, our apartment just had this real bad smell, you know what I'm saying? And she been telling me go in the basement for some time now. And so I go in the basement to check the pipe, see if some sewage that flooded or something. Yeah. It's nothing, but it's a tarp at the end of the stairs, so I stepped over. But when I come back, I'm shining my flashlight, and it looks like some blood is leaking from under. And I ain't gonna touch it, so I don't know. Does he drive a car? His car is back there. Okay, and is her car back there too? No, he moved it. Well, he moved it or she's gone? Sir, honestly, you don't know? I don't know, but somebody was just saying their friend is missing and they were looking through his trash. Oh, okay, yeah. Oh. Yeah, this is my apartment. The basement doors are locked and we can't go in the room. We don't have access to it. See on the right side, it's like you see that trail of puddle? It looked like... Oh, yeah, I see it, yeah.
See, some skin there. Can you? Let's bring back out. See, let me see it too. See what I'm looking at? Yep. No, it's all in it. It's wrapped up in a tarp.
On Wednesday, November 28th of 2018, 29-year-old Jared Chance and 31-year-old Ashley Young were enjoying a fun night out on the town together in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Ashley had recently ended her 7-year relationship with a young man by the name of Moody Farin. Although she and Jared were not officially dating at the time, Ashley wanted to be in a relationship with him.
In a voicemail to a friend, she said, quote, "I know that if he was my boyfriend and he actually, was in love with me, I know he would be amazing. I cannot wait to see him on Wednesday." End quote. The two spent time together that night at Mulligan's Pub and at Easttown Hookah Lounge, which was located just 2 doors down from the pub at the time. Surveillance videos from inside Mulligan's Pub that night show the two of them at the bar. According to her mom, Christine, Ashley was seen laughing, smiling, and ordering a drink. However, after they left that bar sometime after midnight, the details of what happened next became less clear. Earlier that week, Christine, Ashley's mother, had helped her pack up all of her stuff at the apartment she had been sharing with Moody. Ashley was supposed to meet her mom later that Thursday to sign papers for a new apartment, but she did not show up. Worried, Christine reached out to Moody, hoping he might know where Ashley was. When he hadn't seen her, Christine reported her daughter missing. But without any sign of a crime, police could not do anything about it.
Determined to find her daughter, Christine contacted Ashley's stepmother, Dana Nelson. Together, they began their own investigation. After posting on Facebook about Ashley's disappearance, they learned about Jared and quickly reached out to him. At first, Jared told Christine that Ashley had simply left the bar and gone home. Later, he changed his story, saying he had last seen her with a man named Demetrius Taylor at the bar and assumed she must have left with him. Concerned, Christine and Dana went to see Demetrius, who told them he had no clue where Ashley was. He also said he had not hung out with her after leaving the bar, but he did have some concerning text messages to show them from Jared. In the text, Jared was asking Demetrius to lie and say he had left the bar with Ashley that night. At that point, Christine and Dana were alarmed. Ashley was missing, and the last man she was known to have been with was lying to them and trying to get someone else to lie to them as well. As their concern grew, Christine and Dana decided to confront Jared at his house. When they arrived, they were shocked to find police officers already there.
It didn't take long for police to figure out what had happened to Ashley and to find her.
Well, parts of her at least. Some parts have never been found. This is one sick and twisted case. The family feels like the people who live in that house right there may have the answers they're looking for, but these people aren't answering the family's questions. This is Twisted Crimes.
Encontrado ya una razón para vivir y soy tan dichosa porque te tengo a ti.
In 2018, Jared Chance lived with his parents, James, a retired Illinois police sergeant, and Barbara, along with his brother Conrad, in their Grand Rapids, Michigan home. His parents and brother all apparently still live at the house because we're pretty sure we saw Barbara outside the house while we were there, and I actually spoke to Conrad. We'll show you that footage a little later in this video. Jared and Conrad had a violent relationship, often erupting into physical altercations. A police report from 2016 details an incident where officers were called to the house. When they arrived, Conrad told them Jared had held a blowtorch near his face, acting like he was about to burn him. Then Jared hit him multiple times with a stick. The police report states, quote, "When Jared was allegedly hitting Conrad with a stick, he told him, 'I'm going to kill you,' expletive," end quote. This intense argument reportedly erupted over a dispute about car keys. The police report indicates that Jared had red marks on his forehead, cheek, and face. According to the report, their father James told the police, quote, "Nothing had gone on, and it was simply two brothers arguing," end quote. However, Conrad called the police 2 days later to clarify that the fight was actually over a 5-pound bag of marijuana he had stolen from Jared. This was just one of many violent encounters between the brothers, often fueled by disputes over drugs. Just a week later, the brothers were fighting again over marijuana. This time, Conrad said he was hit hard enough to sustain a concussion, while Jared said that Conrad had thrown a cup of piping hot coffee directly at his face. That night, James took Conrad to spend the night at the Economy Inn in Holland to separate the two brothers. A few weeks later, the brothers were tussling again. This time, it was over missing pills. In the police report, James noted, quote, "Conrad is always able to run away from Jared because he is faster," end quote.
Despite their ongoing fights, Conrad made the critical decision to call 911 when Jared overdosed later that year. At the time, Jared was unresponsive and not breathing in the backyard. When EMS arrived, Barbara was performing CPR on him. Jared didn't seem to learn from that incident because 4 days later, EMS returned to the house to administer Narcan for another overdose. A month later, police were back again after Jared said he was beaten by 3 men who used an aluminum baseball bat to hit him multiple times. One of the officers who showed up for that incident noted in his report, quote, "I believe that this was Chance residence, as I had been there numerous times on a number of narcotics calls and disturbance calls involving Jared and Conrad Chance," end quote. Not long after that, Jared called 911 to report, quote, "There were 3 subjects in his backyard wearing camouflage and in possession of a rifle," end quote. Police arrived and searched all around the house, but they did not see anyone suspicious. Jared said he had photos of the men on his phone, but according to the police report, when he showed the pictures to the officers, all they saw was, quote, "a black screen, as well as random pictures of his room and of his feet," end quote. Jared's troubles did not end there. He faced numerous other issues with law enforcement. From 2006 to 2016, he had a total of 38 interactions with the police, including multiple thefts, such as stealing alcohol from various stores.
When he was 20, he was enjoying an evening drinking at the Tulip Time Carnival. He started causing issues there, and police gave him a breath test. He blew a .189, more than double the legal limit for an adult to drive, and he was not even 21 years old at the time. As the temperatures heated up in the summer of 2009, Jared's temperature heated up as well. In July, he was drunk and angry. When police showed up, he head-butted one of the officers in the nose. The officer's nose started bleeding. In the spring of 2010, he illegally entered his girlfriend's home by climbing through a dog door. His temper heated up again in the summer of 2011. Police were called by his parents, and when they arrived, they saw him, quote, "punching the wall and throwing things in the residence," end quote. James told police he wanted his son out of his house, so Jared left. But about 45 minutes after the police left, Jared showed back up again at the house, even more angry than before. Police were again called, and when they arrived, they found Jared screaming at his mom. When they told him to stop, the report states he punched an officer in the head and began trying to punch other officers. He was tased multiple times before being handcuffed and hauled off to jail. Ashley had been friends with Jared quite a few years earlier, but in 2013 he had broken into her house and stolen a bunch of her things, which he had then sold, probably for drug money. So after that, the two quit talking. Despite Jared's troubling history, Ashley, ever optimistic and forgiving, believed in second chances. Tragically, this decision would have devastating consequences.
That Wednesday night in November of 2018 seemed to have gone pretty well. Ashley was smiling in the surveillance footage and apparently agreed to head over to Jared's house afterwards. Once they arrived at the house, things for some reason took a turn for the worse. Shortly after that, Ashley's mom, stepmom, and other friends began their desperate search for her. Someone close to the family told the YouTube channel, That Chapter, that one of Ashley's friends came here to Jared's house and started going through trash cans to look for evidence of what happened to Ashley. That person found a saw blade. Jared was living in the upstairs part of the house at the time, and a man by the name of Mario Nelson was living in the downstairs area. Ashley's friend told Mario about the saw blade, and he mentioned that he and his girlfriend had noticed a foul smell coming from the basement. They said that they thought it was dead rats.
Mario decided he needed to figure out what the horrible smell was coming from, so he made his way into the basement, a place supposedly off limits to the tenants. What he found was chilling. He saw blood seeping from the black tarp. Scared out of his mind, he fled the basement and immediately called 911. Police quickly arrived and began to investigate.
Howdy. Did you call?
Yeah, we both called.
So who are you looking for?
Nobody. Listen. The thing is, well, we gonna walk back here.
Y'all should go look back there.
Yeah, I want y'all to come see my neighbor. He act kind of strange. He do some
Okay.
weed and all that.
And this is this house.
Yeah, no.
We downstairs.
He upstairs.
Is he there right now? Do you know?
We don't know. That's why I'm like whispering and or whatever.
Okay.
But look, a couple of days ago he called me upstairs and there was a white female up there. He
Okay.
introduced me. I
Yeah.
don't remember her name, but this is my friend. So a couple days go by and her car was still here.
Okay.
And like he asked me, the keys were in
As
there.
far as you know, she didn't live there, right?
No, she don't live here. But we just were in the house watching a movie and somebody was snooping through the trash can. And for the last couple days, our apartment just had this real bad smell, you know what I'm saying? And she been telling me go in the basement for some time now. It's this house. Hey, officer, this.
I don't know where don't worry about it.
So I go in the basement to check the pipe, see if there's
Yeah.
some sewage that flooded or something.
Yeah.
It's nothing, but it's a tarp at the end of the stairs, so I stepped over. But when I come back, I'm shining my flashlight, and it looks like some blood is leaking from under it. And I ain't gonna touch it because I don't want to lift that up and see none of that. So I don't know.
Does he drive a car?
His car is back there.
Okay, and is her car back there too?
No, he moved it. Because I like.
Well, he moved it or she's gone?
Sir, honestly,
You don't know?
I don't know, but somebody was just saying their friend is missing, and they were looking through his trash.
Oh, okay. So you guys did call. How did you guys find out about
We called. We're the ones who called.
that and said that this other person was looking through the trash?
Downstairs.
We just seen them snooping around the house, so we asked them what they were doing, and we seen them looking in the trash.
Okay.
I went in
The
the
door's
basement
open.
and just seen a tarp.
The door's open right now, the basement door. Who are you people?
They live upstairs. Yep.
Not related.
We're downstairs, and he lives upstairs.
Is Ashley here?
Who was Ashley?
That's who's missing. We don't. That's the girl was talking. That's who that girl.
Well, we don't know that she's missing. We don't know
Make
that
sure she ain't under there.
It's
I
just
feel
it's
better.
like
Yeah, I feel better. Y'all check it out.
she's not missing. Let's just be clear about that.
That's what the lady said.
Yes, I know. It sounds like there's a lot of drama going on, so we don't want to jump to any conclusions. We just want to make sure it's
well, maybe it's a deer. I don't know.
Right.
Did you talk to before?
yes.
Just
He had more info on this.
They
You got it?
don't know.
It's she's yes. There's
more to it.
yeah. The mom is looking for her because she is willingly hanging out. She shouldn't be hanging out. And so
Y'all check it out. For me, because it looks like blood leaking from it at all.
They don't know if he's up there or not.
yeah. Well, apparently this guy came into the PD to talk to Pat today. fingerprint said that the only one who could talk. If she did answer when I called, but one contact always has to.
Fair enough.
Where's this?
Downstairs.
Oh.
It's right here. I left the door open.
Share basement?
Yeah, that's my apartment. Will be the basement. You know what I'm saying? You can't go in the that's it.
All right. Let me see here.
I'm not quite sure about that. It's possible she might have been called about it. I'll verify that. Okay.
All right, basement is clear. And oh man, I can see some skin in there. So let's have everybody back out.
Let me see it.
See what I'm looking at?
Out of state as well.
So let's Yep.
How far do you want us to tape? I know I've got some in the back of my car.
Yeah, so let's hang on. Yes, let's start getting going on
Okay. All right. If you guys want to stay at the front of the house from now, okay? Appreciate it, because we're gonna tape all this off.
He got some stuff he on the steps
Okay.
too that he-
All right. Well, if you guys will just stay with the front and don't come.
in this house.
Okay. If you guys will stay with the front though and don't come back here anymore. Okay. Yep. Appreciate it.
Inside the tarp was Ashley Young's dismembered body, missing her head, arms, and legs. Police headed upstairs to check Jared's area of the house. There, according to Final Moments on Oxygen, they found a missing shower curtain and a large brown stain in the kitchen. They also found a box. When they opened it, they saw a garbage bag. When they opened that, they found arms with no hands and legs with no feet. They continued to search Jared's home, and when they looked inside an air vent, they noticed 2 spent .22 caliber bullets. Investigators found multiple areas in the home that tested positive for blood. Jared had apparently tried to clean it all up in a hasty effort.
All right, we gotta go wait in line. Just want to stay here by the stable.
Once Jared arrived at police headquarters, he quickly asked for a lawyer and would not talk to the police. He was charged with mutilation of a body and concealing a crime. Police were still trying to gather enough evidence to charge him with murder. Just down the road from Jared's house was a place called Miss Tracy's Liquor Store. Police were able to get surveillance video from the store showing Jared buying alcohol and ammonia. He was also seen throwing things into the dumpster at the store. When police searched the dumpster, they found Ashley's purse. When results came back from the test of the blood found in Jared's house, it was identified as Ashley's blood. Police also got a search warrant for Jared's cell phone records, where they found something interesting. Jared had traveled to his parents' house in Holland, Michigan around the time of the murder. They got a search warrant for his parents' house and vehicles. Inside the Chance family's Honda CR-V, investigators found more damning evidence, including blood, latex gloves, and a bloody shower curtain. A Sawzall reciprocating saw with human tissue on it was later discovered in the home. According to police, on December 1st, Jared's parents, James and Barbara, along with his brother Conrad, drove to his house, where Jared loaded various items into the CR-V, including a power saw, saw blades, ammonia bottles, and garbage bags. These items, many of which were later found stained with blood, were taken to their home. Surveillance video reveals multiple stops along the way, including a visit to a Costco store where police believe evidence may have been discarded. James never mentioned these stops during his initial police interview. Eventually, they drove back to Jared's house with many of the items still in the vehicle. Jared unloaded those items and took them back into his house. Police said James intentionally left out details about where they had stopped to dump things along the way.
The mother of Ashley Young.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And
I've never met her.
Okay. What she's going through right now, and I think you as a parent, me as a parent, it's just a horrific situation for her. Okay. I think what's driving us at this point is we really want to account for all of Ashley, all right, her whole body. And that's important.
Okay.
That's really important.
Right.
I would agree with that. I mean, anybody would.
But,
Okay.
I'd like to make a statement to the fact that we're all victims here. I'm a victim of this too. And I'm not wanting to say that I'm not compassionate for her. I would want the same thing she wants. And I want the same thing she wants. I'm offended that I've been charged with felony. He told me Sunday morning what he had done. I questioned about it. Is this what you did?
What did he tell you?
Well, I told him, he told me that, I told him he was crying and weeping and was carrying on that I did something awful. And he's talking about her. And I said, I came to the point where I said, did you cut her up? And he said, yeah, he did that.
What makes you think to ask that?
I don't know. Given some of the stuff he was saying.
What do you remember him saying? That's kind of a peculiar question. He must have said something.
Well, he was crying and weeping and telling me stuff he did to her. I think that was probably it, or, he might have been telling me that. Maybe it came through what happened to her. I don't know exactly. Man, it was an emotional moment.
No, for
Just up. But he had flipped over. And then, so I said, well, you got to answer, you did all the bawling he did and all that, and I'm listening to all this stuff, and then his mother listened to it, and I decided that, you're going to have to face the consequences of your behavior, and so I brought him to the police department, and went in the front desk and told him and he told him, I'm Jared Chan. And if I knew where that head was at, I don't know, unless when he came home, in the midst of the night or something, he put it in my trash. But I went through my trash. I did not get into the real depths of the trash at the bottom, because there's a lot of trash there, but unless he deposited it there in that trash can, that's a possibility.
Both James and Barbara were charged with being accessories after the fact. Somehow, James was only sentenced to a month in jail, of which he served just 14 days. And Barbara was charged with the same crime and served only 29 days. They were able to serve at different times, so one of them would always be home to take care of Conrad, even though Conrad was already an adult at the time. Despite the convictions, Ashley's family and friends believe the Chance family holds critical information about the missing body parts. When I spoke to Conrad outside his parents' home,
Are your parents
I asked him about this.
Okay. Chris, are your parents here? Could you tell me where Ashley's remains are? Could your parents tell me? Or could they tell their side of the story? Are they here right now? According to MLive, Jared Chance was offered a plea deal before the trial.
If he confessed to Ashley's murder and revealed the location of her remaining body parts, he would be sentenced as a fourth-degree habitual offender, serving a minimum of 31 years in prison. Ashley's parents agreed to the plea deal, desperate for answers and the opportunity to lay their daughter to rest in full. However, Jared rejected the offer, telling Kent County Circuit Judge Mark Trusock on September 9th, quote, "I'd like to go to trial," end quote.
The trial began the next day. After just 3 days, the jury convicted Jared of second-degree murder and multiple related charges. At Jared's sentencing hearing, Ashley's mom, Christy, had a chance to talk directly to him.
Now, I cry 7 days a week. 7! Most days is to and from work. I do not sleep well. My mind never stops. Never! I just keep going back to that last conversation that I had with Ashley. Why didn't I ask where she was going? Why didn't I ask who she was going to be with like I normally do? Maybe I could have stopped her from going to see you. I keep trying to live every moment we had together. Ashley, I miss you every moment of every day.
Jared was sentenced to 100 to 200 years in prison, ensuring he will not be eligible for parole until he is 130 years old. Ashley's family continues to honor her memory and seek justice. Every November, they gather outside the Chance home for a vigil, calling for, quote, "Justice for Ashley." They also run a Facebook page under the same name, keeping her memory alive and advocating for answers. We'll put a link to it below.
We've now reached the point in the video where we're going to share our own thoughts and opinions on this case, starting with Heather.
We already know who committed the murder.
Yeah, so we don't need to spend any time on that. What we will say, though, is that it would be nice for the family to get some closure, to find the rest of Ashley. Now, the family is obviously not willing to help. Jared could have gotten a better deal, could have served less time, maybe gotten out at some point in his life if he would have just said, hey, here's where the rest of her is, but he refused to do that. And we saw from talking to Conrad just a little bit earlier that he is not wanting to help at all. He didn't want to bring his parents out. He did not want to say anything about his side of the story. He just seemed irritated and angry that we were there, and he was not helpful at all. He would not answer any of our questions for him. And it's obvious that this family just doesn't care to help out with this part and what remains in this investigation. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time.